Why is it that the straight-A students, the ones who followed every rule in the book, often find themselves stuck in mid-level management roles in cities like New York or Chicago, while the kids who were considered troublemakers are the ones starting the companies that change the world? It is a question that keeps parents up at night. Are you raising a leader, or are you raising a very high-functioning follower? The truth is, most of us are accidentally training our children to be obedient workers for a world that no longer exists. We think we are helping them by fixing their problems and managing their schedules, but we are actually atrophying the very mental muscles they need to survive the 21st century. In this episode, we are diving deep into the insights of child development expert Tinyang Andenyang to uncover how the traditional education system was designed to create cogs in a machine, and, more importantly, how you can break that cycle to unlock your child's true potential as an independent thinker. This isn't just about grades. It is about the soul of your child's future. Let's set the stage. Look around any major American city, from the tech hubs of Los Angeles to the financial districts of Manhattan. We see a common pattern. Most people do exactly what they are told. Why? Because they were raised in a system designed by the industrial titans of the 19th century. The Prussian model of education wasn't created to produce innovators or philosophers. It was created to produce soldiers and factory workers who wouldn't ask questions. They needed people who would sit in rows, move when the bell rang, and perform repetitive tasks without complaint. We've inherited this factory mindset. We think that if our child complies, they are succeeding. But when you prioritize compliance, you kill curiosity. When you reward getting the right answer over asking the right question, you are building a follower. The biological cost is real too. When a child is constantly directed, their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function and complex decision-making, doesn't get the workout it needs. It stays soft. It stays dependent. And that is why we see so many 20-somethings today who are brilliant on paper, but paralyzed when they have to make a real-world decision without a rubric. Here is the reveal that most parents find shocking. A study conducted by NASA to measure the creative potential of 1,600 children found that at age 5, 98% of children scored at the creative genius level. Let that sink in. 98%. But when they tested those same children 5 years later, at age 10, that number plummeted to 30%. By age 15, it was 12%. And by the time they reached adulthood, only 2% of us still have that creative genius capacity. What happened? School happened. The system filtered it out. It taught them that there is only one right answer, and it belongs to the person at the front of the room. Tinyang Andenyang argues that we must fight this institutionalized narrowing of the mind. To do that, we need a new framework. I call it the I.D.E.A. framework for independent thinking. It stands for inquiry, discomfort, executive autonomy, and analysis. This is the blueprint for moving from a follower household to a thinker household. Let's break down step 1, inquiry. The goal here is to shift from being a source of answers to a source of questions. Imagine you are at home in Brooklyn, and your 8-year-old comes to you and asks, "Mom, Why is the sky blue? The follower parent response is to look it up on Google and give the answer. It's Rayleigh scattering, honey. The thinker parent response is different. You say, that is a fascinating observation. Why do you think it's blue? Why isn't it green? What would happen if the sun was a different color? You aren't being annoying. You are activating their inquiry loop. You are teaching them that their own brain is a valid tool for investigation. I remember a story of a father in Seattle whose daughter wanted to know how a toaster worked. Instead of explaining it, he bought a broken toaster for $5 at a thrift store, gave her a screwdriver, and said, "Figure it out." It took her 3 days. She got frustrated. She almost quit. But when she finally saw the heating element and the spring mechanism, she didn't just know how a toaster worked. She knew she could deconstruct the world. Step 2 is the hardest for modern parents: discomfort. We live in a helicopter and snowplow parent culture. We want to clear every pebble out of our child's path so they never trip. But if they never trip, they never learn how to catch themselves. Independent thinking requires the ability to sit with a problem that doesn't have an immediate solution. In many high-achieving school districts, if a kid gets a B, the parent is in the principal's office the next morning. That is a disaster for the child's potential. You are teaching them that the result is more important than the process. To raise a thinker, you must allow them to fail. Let's look at case study A. A young boy in a suburb of Chicago was struggling with a complex Lego set. He was crying because the pieces didn't fit. His mother wanted to step in and build it for him. She felt that pang in her chest. But instead, she sat back and said, "It looks like the instructions are confusing. Which part is different from the picture?" She forced him to stay in the discomfort of the not knowing. 2 hours later, he solved it. The hit of dopamine he got wasn't from the Lego. It was from the realization that I can solve hard things. That is the birth of an independent mind. Step 3 is executive autonomy. This means giving them real power over their lives. Most kids have zero autonomy. They are told when to wake up, what to wear, what to eat, what to study, and when to sleep. They are essentially managed like a corporate asset. If you want a thinker, you have to give them decision-making real estate. Start small. Give them a budget. Tell your 10-year-old, "Here is $50 for your school clothes this month. You choose. But once the money is gone, it's gone." They might buy one expensive pair of sneakers and realize they have no shirts left. Let them wear the old shirts. Let them feel the consequence of a poor decision. This is how they learn to analyze variables. If you always make the right choice for them, they will never learn how to make a right choice for themselves when they move to a dorm in Los Angeles or an apartment in D.C. Step 4 is analysis. This is about teaching them to see the why behind the what. We are bombarded with information. To be an independent thinker in the age of AI, you must be a critical consumer. At the dinner table, don't just talk about your day. Pick a news story or a commercial. Ask them, who made this ad? What do they want you to feel? Why did they use that specific music? You are building a BS detector. I know a family in Atlanta that has a debate night. The kids have to pick a topic, like, should we have dessert every night? And they have to present 3 logical arguments for and 3 logical arguments against their own position. This teaches them that ideas are things you can examine from all sides, not just things you believe because someone told you to. Now, what does the roadmap look like? This isn't an overnight fix. In the first month, you will see resistance. Your child might actually get lazier because they are waiting for you to tell them what to do. They will say, "I'm bored." Good. Boredom is the precursor to creativity. Do not entertain them. Let them sit in the boredom until their brain is forced to invent something. By month 3, you'll notice they start asking more how questions instead of what questions. By month 6, you'll see a shift in their resilience. When they hit a wall in math or sports, they won't look at you for the rescue. They'll look at the problem. They are becoming the architect of their own life. Let's talk about the red flags. If your child is constantly asking, "Is this right?" or "Is this what you wanted?" that is a sign of a follower mindset. They are looking for external validation. To fix this, stop giving praise and start giving observations. Instead of saying, "Good job on that drawing," which is a judgment, say, "I see you used a lot of dark blue in the corner. Why did you choose that?" This forces them to look inward for the value of their work rather than looking at you. Another issue is the school conflict. Your child might start questioning their teachers. This can be tricky. You need to teach them the difference between independent thinking and disrespect. Tell them, "You can disagree with the assignment, but you must understand the rules of the system to change the system." We want them to be strategic thinkers, not just rebels without a cause. As we wrap up this deep dive, remember the words of Tinyang Andenyang. The goal of education is not to fill a bucket, but to light a fire. The world doesn't need more people who can follow a manual. The manual is being written by robots now. The world needs people who can look at a mess and see a pattern. People who can look at a no and find a how. It starts at your kitchen table. It starts with the next question you ask. Stop being the manager of your child's life and start being the consultant. Let them fail while the stakes are low, in the backyard, in the classroom, so they can succeed when the stakes are high, in the boardroom, in the lab, in the world. Here is your action step for today. Next time your child asks you for help with something they could potentially do themselves, whether it's tying their shoes or solving a riddle, wait. Count to 10 in your head. Give them those 10 seconds of struggle. Watch their brain work. That silence? That is the sound of potential unlocking. If you found this helpful, I want you to comment below with one area where you are going to step back this week. Is it chores? Is it homework? Let's hold each other accountable. In our next episode, we're going to look at the future of work and why emotional intelligence is the new IQ. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep raising the leaders our world so desperately needs. See you in the next one.